Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to do a comparison video between two famous fragrances from the house of Andy Tower. So Andy Tower is the perfumer and the name of the brand is Tower Fragrances. So these are the only two fragrances I have from that brand. And the first one I got was this one. So just to quickly tell you, all of the fragrances from this fragrance house have the same bottle design. They just differentiate in color. So these two are very similar, and in fact, they're from like the same fragrance family. So that's why the bottles are exactly the same, but the actual fragrances are different and they're called different names as well. So this one is called La Air du Desert Marocain, and you can see that on the label there. And then this one is called Coeur du Desert, and I don't know if I've pronounced them right. As you know, my pronunciation sometimes is a bit off. So anyway, those are the two fragrances that I'm going to compare today for you because, as I said, they are quite similar, but there are some differences between them as well, and that's what I'm going to present to you today. So I'm going to start off with La Air du Desert Marocain. So this one I'm going to just spray on my sleeve just so I can talk to you about it. So La Air du Desert Marocain was launched in 2005, and these fragrances aren't available everywhere, by the way. They're not available everywhere in the UK. They're only available in certain boutiques. And the brand also doesn't deliver to the UK, which I find weird, but they just don't deliver to the UK. So in La Air du Desert Marocain, you've got top notes of coriander, cumin, petite grain, and lavender. Then you've got middle notes of labdanum, birch, jasmine, and geranium. And you've got base notes of amber, cedar, vetiver, patchouli, and oak moss. So this, as I've just sprayed on my sleeve, sorry, this opens with lavender, coriander, cumin, labdanum, and is also a little bit smoky. So it kind of opens up on like a fresh, spicy, floral mix. Projection of this is way above average though. Definitely incredible projection from this fragrance. And it smells really attractive too. So like that floral, fresh, spicy combination comes across really attractive. Sometime then this kind of changes to like a dry, woody scent with a beautiful balance of fresh spices still there and the lavender. Jasmine in this is quite light. The scent itself feels quite light and airy, but at the same time it projects so well. In the dry down, I also get some patchouli in this, which gives it a really nice touch. This one, when washed off, it remains on skin and continues to project, which is amazing. And the thing that I noticed about both of them is that when you get wet, so if you go out in the rain or something like that, and your clothes or your skin that you've sprayed this on, if it gets wet, the fragrance seems to project a lot more in a climate like that. So that was definitely something noticeable and something which was just amazing actually. So the dry down of La Air du Desert Marocain is a lavender woody scent with fresh spices and patchouli, and overall it comes across very attractive. The reason why this is popular is because it projects for a really long time and it lasts a long time as well. So even 5 hours later I can still smell it projecting. As I said, when I went out in the rain it was just projecting even more. So that one is La Air du Desert Marocain. And then we have got Au Coeur du Desert. So the other thing I forgot to say is La Air du Desert Marocain. So the first one I spoke to you about is actually an EDT. And the second one I'm going to speak to you about, Au Coeur du Desert, is actually an extrait. So already there's that difference between the two. So Au Coeur du Desert is a thicker, more dense version of La Air du Desert Marocain. In this though, you've got resins, ambergris, coriander, patchouli, cedar, and cumin. So you can already see that there are some notes which are similar or the same as the first one that I spoke about. This one is definitely more deeper, more dense, and more darker because of the resinous and the ambergris. I'm not going to spray this because the first one I sprayed was already projecting and I don't want to kind of like mix up the two scents. But I have already, figured out my thoughts on these fragrances. So I can tell you exactly what I think of this fragrance without spraying it on my skin. So Au Coeur du Desert opens quite resinous. You can clearly feel the ambergris in this, the coriander, cumin, and patchouli. And it also has some woody aspects to it and some incense in it as well. So it does come across a little bit smoky like the first one. On the blotter, I also get some lavender, but I definitely don't get lavender on my skin. Half an hour later with Au Coeur du Desert, the coriander and resins seem to tone down quite a bit. And then you've got like an amber woody scent with patchouli, light spices, and light resins. With this one, once it dries down, it remains like an ambery, woody, lightly spicy, lightly smoky scent. So already you can see the similarities between the two. Even with this one, Au Coeur du Desert, the scent profile is so beautiful, so attractive. The way it's been created, the projection, the performance, everything about it is just incredible. And even with this one, after being washed off, I could still smell it and it was still projecting. And again, when I went out in the rain with this, it was just projecting like amazingly well. It's super smooth. When I say it projects really well, rather than like annoyingly harsh. Already you can see that the two are quite similar in the way they kind of the path that they follow, but the only differences between them is that this one in my hand is La Haie du Desert Marocain. Sorry, I have to remember it myself. And this one is Au Coeur du Desert. So in this one, which I'm going to say LDDM, has no resins or ambergris. There is lavender in this, and the price is £119. And also don't forget it's an EDT. This one is also light and airy, whereas this one, Au Coeur du Desert, which I'm going to say ACDD, is an extrait and is more dense, deeper and darker because it's got resins and ambergris in it. It hasn't got any lavender in it, but I definitely don't detect it on skin, but I do get it on the blotter, which is weird. This one is priced at £165, and as I said, it's more dense, darker and deeper. The projection of both of them is very, very similar though, and the performance is also very, very, very similar. So those are the only differences between the two. Otherwise, there's a lot of similarities between the two as well. If you have either one of these, I don't think you necessarily need to buy the other one. If you don't have either of them, then this is your comparison video for you to decide which one is for you. So La Haie du Desert Marocain is the EDT and is more fresh, spicy, floral, whereas Au Coeur du Desert is the extrait and is more resinous and darker and deeper and more dense as well because it's an extrait. So it really just depends on what you like when you're deciding on which one to buy out of the two. For me personally, to decide which one I like out of the two is very difficult because I have both of them. It just really depends on my mood, which one I want to wear. If I feel like wearing something more fresh, then I'll go for La Haie du Desert. And if I feel like wearing something more dense and darker and deeper, then I go for Au Coeur du Desert. So it just really depends. And it also depends on the season too. Just to let you know, both of these are completely unisex, so they don't lean masculine or feminine in any way. They are 100% unisex, and me and my husband both share both of these fragrances. It's my fragrance comparison between these two fragrances from Tower Perfumes. If you have any questions which I haven't covered off in this video, then you can let me know in the comments box below. Otherwise, I hope you found this video useful and it definitely helps you in deciding on which fragrance is for you if you don't have either of these. As I said, they don't ship in the UK, but in the UK you can get them from certain boutiques, and I'll try to link them in the comments box below. Otherwise, guys, thank you for watching and I will see you guys soon.